And welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name
Hey
is Joseph.
guys.
We are missing Adam today. I've already got a hole in my heart, but we might be able to tune in a bit later. We'll see what happens. We have Costa, Steve, and Chris from EasyCam. Chris is always welcome because he answers all the hard CNC questions. So thanks so much for being with us, Chris.
Hey,
And
pleasure.
Steve, absolutely. Steve, you have had quite an experience going live at a convention. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, so I was at a convention in the Birmingham NEC Exhibition Centre this past weekend. That was an event called Makers Central, and it is the UK's premier sort of maker convention where people from across the maker sphere, if we want to call it that, all come together and celebrate creativity. And the types of crafting that go on there is insane, whether it be leather work, needlework, woodwork, metalwork, you name it, it is there. And some top YouTubers were there as well. The likes of Colin Furs, Alex Steele, Tornado Dave. For those of you who don't know who Tornado Dave, if you know who Colin Furs is, Tornado Dave is kind of a cousin, if you like. He's created a bunker system in his back garden. I believe he may have actually done it slightly before Colin Furs. His most recent purchase is the tail end of a 737,
Oh, wow.
which he's now going to bury in the back garden and make it part of his tunnel/bunker system. So, yeah, if anybody wants to catch the replay of the live stream, it's available on my channel, IQ Workshop. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. It's the 7th year that the convention's been running. It did have some challenges through COVID, as many events did. Some events didn't survive. Maker Central is absolutely one of those ones that pulled through, and I've live streamed there every year. So it's definitely, if you're in the UK, or you're able to travel to the UK during May, Maker Central is definitely a destination to go check out. Makers, vendors, YouTubers, it's pretty cool.
That is really cool. I caught some of your live, and it was really fun. I felt like I was there. I loved seeing the skeleton with the little soft filament between the bones. So it looked like a great time, and thanks for covering all that. Now, Chris, we already have a question that came in through email about EasyCam. I don't know if you're able to talk a little bit more about that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We had a guy that was interested in adjusting his post processor. The post, when it was going for a tool change, it was adding an extra 50 thousandths in Z in the positive direction. So what was happening is this tool was over traveling. So our goal is to make sure that you're comfortable running your machine without having to make any edits. I mean, that's where we want you to be. We don't want you having to edit your post processor. I mean, there's cases where you got to insert things here and there, but overall performance issues like that, that's not acceptable. We got to take care of that for you. So on that, what we have is our support team can modify the post, but we've taken it one step further where you guys can make your own requests. So here is let me share my screen. Share screen. Share. Okay, you should be looking at the AI, EasyCam's AI assistant. Okay, so I have a post processor here. It was a Tormach, and I'm gonna just show you the CNC editor. It takes me directly to the Tormach post processor. And in here, we have the program start, and this is legacy format. So we have Visual Basic that's just overpowered this. I mean, you can do just about anything with a post processor. Your little heart can tell your heart's content. Here, we're not seeing a Z issue, but if I go to the tool change format, you can see that we have a positive Z. This M998 is the tool retract. So we're taking that extra 50 thousandths. So if I go to the end of the program, that'll be the other location, we're doing the same thing here. Now, had you not, if you know nothing about post processors, the AI is there for you, where you can just go in here. There's an upload button. So we'll upload the post processor. There's our Tormac AI copy. And I'm going to say to it, let's see. So modify the post where M998 Z, what is it? I got to be exact here. 0.05 should change M998 to Z 0. Now let's see what AI does for us. Doesn't take it long at all. I probably should have been more exact and said that I wanted that done in the tool change and the tool the end. But let's see what it does for us. Now what it's going to do is it's going to take that old legacy code and change it over to the WinBasic. It does that for us automatically. Okay, over here, tool change.
Yeah, I found it.
It found it. It took care of it. The program end, the same thing. And then all I have to do is hit save and import CAM. But before I do that, I'm going to post the program. Let me just run that through. And post. Info editor appears. Here's our program start. The M998 is okay. I'm going to go to find. Well, let's change that to, oh, we can go next. All right, so there's our Z50,000s. We'll go next again. Those are through all the tool changes, and then we have our program end. So now let's run the new post. So AI, you have to save and import to EasyCam. Now I'll run that same post processor. Let's go find. M8. All right, so tool change Z0. So it made the modifications for us. So anybody can really walk through this and ask AI what they want to change, and takes care of it in less time than would have taken me. So
I've said this before, but anyone who has, I mean, I've been working in CNC machine shops since like 2012 now, so I've got a bit of experience. Having a post processor, that's not exactly correct, was a nightmare, because sometimes there was a strategy that everything worked in the post processor, but when you use the specific strategy with a specific set of motions and whatnot, it would post it in a non-optimal way. So to make edits like that, it was a nightmare. You need to call the vendor, explain exactly what the problem is, and perhaps they want to reproduce it, and then they need to assign somebody and make the edits. This is like magic to me, right? Just going and typing, what I want to change in the post processor, this, and then like 3 minutes later you have a new post processor. That's like witchcraft right there.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. And if we look at the code that it modified, let's go back to, now I'm going to hit save CNC. I want to save those changes. So if you don't do that, you got to be aware. You do have to save that in order for it to store in the post. So then if I come down here and go to my tool change, look at that. It changed the format. It's all WinBasic now. Whereas the program start stayed the same.
Yeah.
Let's go to program end.
WinBasic.
So you can imagine trying to write all that code or copying from one post processor to the other. I mean, if you want to modify like safety blocks, you have two people sharing the same post to make those changes that are, suited for you. I mean, there you have it. You don't have to worry about making a phone call.
Yep.
So, Chris, can I just ask a question from a hobbyist perspective?
Absolutely.
So I'm running a Gerbil compliant CNC machine. I'm currently covered in what I affectionately like to call man glitter, sawdust. One of the things that I have to do every time I run a job is run a G28.1.
Okay.
And the reason I need to do that is if I don't, the machine kind of like plunges down to a specific depth and then tears off to the start of the job, which might actually be through the stock. So G28.1 then just sets a safe travel position. Would I be able to use the function you've just demonstrated to add a G28.1 to all of my jobs so I don't have to do it manually?
Absolutely. You can tell it what kind of code to follow after. So if you, let's say you had your safety block, you could put your safety block in there, and I want on the next line, this is what I want to insert, the G28.1, and you can do that and tell it to say, okay, I want to do it in tool changes, and I want to do it at the end of the program, and it'll go through just like it did. It modified the Z for us, took the Z 50,000s out and made it Z0. You just tell it where you want to insert it, above a line, below a line, and it'll do it in the same amount of time it took to do this one.
That's cool. That's very cool.
It is very cool, man. I'm telling you.
I like this comment from Donnie Reese. Chris has helped me a lot with my EasyCam, so Chris has helped me a lot with my EasyCam too. So I think it's a pretty common trend.
Thank you, Donnie. Thank you for the compliment.
Here's one. Does EasyCam support the Carvera Air? And is turn needed for the 4th axis, or can Mill Pro do that as well?
The 4th axis is either Easy Mill, which supports all full 4 axis, so you can do the wrapping, whereas as the rotary table is indexing or rotating, we can move in X and Y. And we even have it now where you can also work X, Y, and Z, where you rotate the part and it's 3D surfaces. I've got an example of that. Maybe if I step into it real quick here. Let's see. Mill. Open. 4th axis. So here's an interesting example. So you put this on a 4th axis, and while this is spinning, it's going to be moving in X, Y, and Z. Might take, okay, here we go. Maybe let's simulate that. I was trying to make a larger step over so we didn't have to wait through it so much. Let's see. Curve step. Cutter component machine lead status with both lengths. Let me just do this. Bring it back in. Now it should have been my WrapX. Equal data. This should be off. Spline tolerance. Curve step 0.1. Yeah, I keep getting an error.
As it always happens with live, because nothing works right, of course.
Doesn't it?
Happens to me all the time.
Right, yeah. Why don't I come back to this? While you guys are talking about an Alibre question, I'll iron that out. We'll nail that.
Absolutely. Something that we've talked about with Alibre in the past is STEP and SAT files. And I don't know if I actually gave that the depth that I should have. So I think it's important to be able to unpack why these are different formats and what a big difference it makes. When you have a model in your computer, no matter what parametric platform you are using, if you convert to STEP, there is a substantial change. The STEP says, I want to store all of the geometry or the shape of the file. Your computer, on the other hand, your Alibre or whatever platform you're using, actually represents these surfaces using something called NURBS or analytical surfaces. NURBS surfaces, imagine, splines, point splines that you can make. In fact, I'll pull this up on my computer. NURBS is a really fun way to talk. You think NURBS, kind of a funny word. But if we make a spline like this, right, I have all of these control points that determine the shape of the spline. Imagine those in 3 dimensions, and that is how organic geometry is represented. So your computer has a bunch of these in the background that you don't see that represents these surfaces. When you convert to STEP, these splines are lost and just the shape of the surface is recorded. When you open it up in a new platform, then the new platform says, I'm going to read the geometry and recreate these splines. It's a process called reparameterization. And sometimes, especially between different kernels, this reparameterization can cause tiny errors in edges and things like that. And that's where you can get some import errors. Sometimes the errors occur when converting to steps. Sometimes the errors occur when going from step to the new platform. But reparameterization, especially for NURB surfaces, are going to be what cause errors. When you use the SAT format, there's still not a guarantee that reparameterization doesn't need to happen. But because SAT is the native format for ASYS, then when you're going from an ASYS system to an ASYS system, you are profoundly more error-proof. So there are pros and cons with using the SAT versus STEP format. We had OmniCubed. I hope that they're watching because we love OmniCubed. But they rightfully pointed out that STEP converts into individual bodies. And so if you're working with assemblies, it's way easier to be able to use these different assemblies pieces to make bodies. Whereas SAT, all the bodies are just one uniform thing, but you can avoid a lot of import errors. So there's pros and cons with all these different formats. And the question is, what if you're going from one kernel to another? If you're going from ASYS to Parasolid? Well, if you can export to the native format of the kernel that you're going to go to, it's not always guaranteed, but more often than not, you're probably going to be able to avoid errors more effectively. So that could be a pretty good file format strategy. Let me take a look at the comments, make sure I didn't miss anything. This is interesting. What is Joseph's email address? Yes, thank you for asking. Joseph@alibre.com. I did not actually get an email from you, so we definitely want to give you your winnings and spoils. So I'll put it in a text block, and I'll check my spam too.
Okay, can I just add a couple of things? First of all, I want to highlight this. Sorry for that.
No, go ahead and highlight that.
I want to highlight this because it's a really quick answer. The answer is yes, it does. I've used it. And so the question was, does EasyCam have adaptive roughing and finishing and, well, adaptive roughing, because that's, you only use it for roughing. But yeah, it does have adaptive roughing. But I just wanted to add to that. So NURBS. It's not a slur for somebody who's just started playing the video game you love, right? It actually is initials for non-uniform rational B-splines. I think I got it.
Yep.
And they were developed by Renault in France, right? and they're called Bezier curves because the actual mathematician that defined them mathematically for the first time was called, his last name was Bezier. I think it was called Philippe Bezier or something. But the really funny thing about it is, Renault invented this thing, right? And the first car they designed using NURBS was the Renault 19. Now go in Google and find a picture of that car. It's a square box. So I don't know why they went into all that trouble.
A
They
square box with
invented NURB
fillets.
curves. But yeah, well, yes, it does have a couple of fillets. That's very true. That is very true. Especially the 16 valve one, which is a quite an exciting car to drive, but it still is a square box. So they went to all that trouble to design a slightly less square box. There you go. Fun fact for you.
I love it. I love it. Thanks, Costas. And I love this one as well. I better get rid of my text block so we can actually read that comment. But routing differences in the deep end of the defining equations cause those differences. That is one thing. Yes, absolutely. When you're dealing with NURBS, right, different kernels are going to define splines like this differently. And so you can have the same geometry represented with very different looking splines depending on how the given computational kernel processes that. What these kernels do, we think of them as geometry kernels, particularly because, the name geometric kernels, but their geometry is almost secondary when you think they are defining topology, maintaining consistency across different nodes. They're having constraint graphs. They're having geometric computations. Like all of it happens before the geometry, and so it's almost secondary. And so there's a lot that can cause these errors. Another thing is when you go into surfacing, you have a patchwork of different individual faces that are being knitted together. So small rounding differences will compound across these different relationships sometimes. And that's a big factor as well. Hopefully that's kind of an answer. And a lot of it is, it depends as well on the specific case and situation.
Yep. And look, NURBS is a really weird thing in mathematics. If you go into the math definition of it, right? It's a function that so for every point if I remember correctly, it's a function. So the tangent to the curve at every point is defined by by three control points: the one you're closest to, the previous one, and the next one. And there's a mathematical definition there. So it is a bit weird. And I imagine that different geometric kernels have different, like commands and entire algorithms and strategies to decipher that and actually design the curve. So it's also a porting issue, right? When you want to take one set of commands that maybe ACES uses and port it over and do the same thing but with a different command set that Parasolid uses. So that's another issue for translation problems.
Love it. Yep, I like that too. Like this. I think this one might be for you, Costas.
Yeah. Well, they're not known for sexy curves. They're known for being sexy around the curves because, come on, they're great cars. They're really fun cars to drive. And the good thing with Renaults when you drive them is you don't have to look at them on the outside, which is a major plus.
And we have another question. Oh, math is fun. Got to throw that one in. It is.
Math is fun. Yep.
All right, Chris, how are you doing over there? You got it figured out?
The calculation time on something like that with the grapevine, it just takes too long. So it's just something I'm going to pass on.
All right. This one is kind of after my own heart. Does EasyCam run AI locally or through an EasyCam server?
It goes through the server.
Perfect. Oh, we got a reply for Costas again.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Look, he keeps going, but he's correct about that, right? My absolute favorite Renault was the Clio, the first Clio, 16 valve, and the Clio Williams, and they were amazing cars to drive. They were like the benchmark, but they were ugly. Come on, let's be honest, they were ugly cars, but great to drive.
The question is though, Costas, do they have the Renaults that we know in the US? This just
I don't
might
think
be a
they do.
European thing, right? So,
I don't think Renault is sold in the US. I don't think they're sold at all these days, right? Um, I'm pretty sure Citroen is out of the market as well. They were with large XMs, with the hydropneumatic uh, suspension system and all that. But
yeah.
that's a great one. If you ever get the chance to drive one of these things, they're from the 80s. If you ever get a chance to drive them, nothing, not even a Rolls Royce or a Bentley from 2026 rides like that car from the 80s. So if you get a chance to drive them, do so. But I don't think they're in the market in the US anymore. It's a European thing.
Was that the Citroen CX?
No, the XM, the larger one. The CX,
XM.
they've got the same. They've got the same suspension system, and the last car to have that was the Citroen Xantia 2. But but the XM, with a large wheelbase, it was like a steamroller, right?
Yeah. Now I'll go to your screen, Chris.
Sure.
I saw back to that adaptive clearing question. It absolutely does do adaptive clearing. I don't know if you can show us maybe how to invoke adaptive clearing, what the benefits are, and why someone would care about
that's a good
which
one,
method.
All right, let me.
Finally found that question.
I got a good example for us here. Okay. Okay, let's deactivate these. Start fresh. So we're going to pick this face. This is what we're going to use high-speed machining, the adaptive machining. I'll use a 1/4-inch tool, the step over. So we modify the feed rates, and also our return passes stay down at the bottom of the part, so they're not rapiding. You're not getting all these rapid moves coming over to the next move. So we just skim the bottom enough where you're not going to have chips go underneath the end mill.
Exactly.
Verify that. Now, if you noticed, I only clicked one face, and EasyCam automatically knew where the bosses were, so it adjusted for you. We start our toolpath outside of the stock, so let's bring that up again. So EasyCam will start its machining from the outside, work its way in, using arc segments to come into the corners. I'm going to use an oversized tool. Let's make this 625. Verify again. Okay, so we're starting in, we're stopping where the tool can't fit. Okay, so what we'll do with that is we'll go back in and make another operation, change our tool, change the size of our cutter, go into rest milling, and that was pocket 4. You can adjust the step over here. You can adjust your plunge options. Everything that you could do in the first operation, you can do in the second. And that's something that we've just added. I think that's new in version 2026. So we'll verify.
Yeah,
The EasyCam gives us a nice lead starting out where the material had been removed. Combine it all together. And preview. Okay, so the change in color is a change in tool number. And this is showing us where the other tool left off, and we did our remachining with high-speed machining.
Yep.
Any other questions? Anything more to add to that?
Can I just add to that that the reason you want to rough with what's become known in the industry as adaptive milling is you get a very stable chip load, right? So every time the end mill takes a cut, it cuts the exact same thing. That reduces well, not vibration, but it keeps the vibration steady. It reduces resonance, right? Where you might get into a vibration that actually resonates with your entire system and the end mill and whatnot, and creates it flexes the end mill, creates lines on the part, and most importantly, when your end mill resonates, it moves a little bit more than it normally does. It wears out a lot quicker. So, surface finish is not that important when you're roughing because you'll finish it anyway. But end mill lifetime is definitely important. That's the expensive bit in all of this process, right? It's the end mill. So if you can, make it last twice as long, which is not uncommon for adaptive roughing compared to roughing with straight lines, that's a big win. And yeah, and EasyCam does do so what I like about EasyCam from the little that I have used that in recently is what you just showed there, Chris, that it knows and it enters the material from an area that has already been machined, or from the outside of the stock. That is really, really tricky to do in the CAM module for FreeCAD, for example. And I haven't used Fusion CAM for like 3 or 4 years, but Fusion was amazingly dim-witted about it. You were just roughing it like a square block, and it wanted to helix into the corner, helix into everything. So what I like about EasyCam is not only does it have adaptive clearing, but I like the way it picks its entry points without me, explicitly going in and correcting it. So it's correct more of the time, and that adds up.
Just talking about the helix in, it still does.
Helix in.
It
still does it, huh? I mean, come on, man. But yeah, anyway, so annoying. It was so annoying to me. You don't.
Yeah, you can see here. I just also want to point out when I was saying that it would start off of the rough material, so you're not going to damage your cutter. It actually has a lead in, and this is on the roughing. The outside tool path.
That was on the rest machining, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And here we're starting on the outside and working our way inward.
Exactly.
So we're not damaging the cutter at all. We're not, and that's true with our 3D roughing. It's just impressive, where it realizes the material's been removed when it's going down for the next cut. So.
Yep. That's important, man. I'm telling you, that is important, because you can you can definitely helix into a part and start clearing it out, right? It's a definitely valid strategy, especially for an enclosed pocket. That's the only way to do it. But it does take a bit more out of your end mill, and I mean, if you don't have to do it, why do it? And if you need to spend like 15 minutes fumbling away with options and settings just to get it to start in the correct spot, it becomes quite annoying quite quickly.
What I'm going to do, I just want to post this, and I just want to show you that we're adjusting the feed rates as well.
Yeah. And can I just say something else about that, right? That is a feature that SolidCAM heavily markets, heavily, and it's charging quite a bit of money for it as well. I think that the variable feed rate in the final CNC program, I think they charge more for that feature than the entire EasyCam license, the cost of the license, just for that little option. And you know, there you have EasyCam doing it like, okay, we'll do
Out
that
of the
too,
box.
right? Out of the box, which is nice.
I like that comment. That would be a huge time saver for some of the parts that I do. And if you're working at
Yeah,
scale
yeah,
and you
for sure.
make 1,000 of them, saving 30 seconds,
Oh
10
man,
seconds.
exactly, exactly. 10 seconds over 1,500 parts. Oh man, you just saved yourself a work shift there, right?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it's not just the time saved. It's also like, um, for somebody who hasn't used adaptive roughing strategies, it's a revelation when you do, right? You're used to getting like 10 12 parts out of an end mill, and suddenly you're getting 30 parts out of an end mill. That's real money right there.
So adaptive roughing or adaptive tool paths are essentially
Yeah.
what? They're just more gentle on the tool. From what you're saying, there
Well,
is there any other
it's
advantages?
so by having a constant engagement, right? Well, first of all, the entire idea is that you take the full depth of the cutter, because it's so gentle on the cutter. You take the full depth of the cutter, right? And you just take a step over like between 10 and 20, 10 to 20%. I think Sandvik has a great video on chip thinning, and they say there that you either do 15%, sorry, 20 up to 25% or over 75, because that's the areas where you do chip thinning. So if you're adaptive roughing a shallow area, you go over 75% step over, right? But the idea is you take your full depth, so you're not taking roughing steps, you do it in one step. And because you're taking a very steady cut and a bit and the bit of the side of the end mill, you can go a lot faster, right? Sometimes two and a half, three times faster. So what you end up with is a strategy that is overall. So you're taking a smaller step over, but you end up with a strategy that is overall a bit faster, not by a huge amount, but a bit faster. And now you can cut three times the part number with the same end mill. So you're saving a bit of time and you're saving massive tool wear. That's real money, guys. That is real money right there. Carbide has spiked in price last couple of months, so saving tool life is important. It's even more important now.
Yeah, you reduce a lot of heat.
Yeah, exactly.
An awful lot of heat.
Exactly. And people, if you're interested, go and check out on Sandvik. Sandvik is a major carbide tool maker. Go check out their YouTube channel for the chip thinning video. It's very informative. It's really cool info.
I'm seeing another question here. Prior to the start of this YouTube session, you show various models in motion. The one that model the machine in motion is of great interest to me. How do I learn how to do that? I think that's the intro that we had for all the machines that were making food in the food industry. Proud to say all of those were designed in Alibre, and that was actual footage of those machines running, if I'm referring to the right thing. If I'm not, be sure to correct me in the comments, Glenn Philipman, and let me know what you're referring to. So when we talk about models in motion, I'm interested to know, would you be using this as more of a simulation analysis, or do you need an animation of the machine actually working? I think our answers might depend on what your needs are there. Of course, I've blocked myself out there. So let me know what you intend on doing, and I think I can get you a better answer. And block Steve too. So yeah, follow up with us on that, and I want to get back to that and get you the best answer that I can. And also another one for you, Chris. Can I start with EasyMill Express and upgrade to EasyMill later if I need more advanced features?
Absolutely, absolutely. So you want to be within your 1 year support and maintenance on that, because then if you let it lapse, then to upgrade to the next level, you just have to keep in mind that you have to purchase your maintenance to keep current. And so you pay the difference within the year. And if you skip a couple years, the maintenance goes up a couple $100. It's not like you have to buy the whole seat, the whole maintenance from the first year, second year, and so on. That seems to be a trend that's going on out there. It gets pretty expensive to keep up.
Oh man, man, I have a pet peeve about that, right? Oh man, yeah, Steve, he knows, he's heard this before. It's like Costas, you keep saying the same story, but first time I heard about that, I was talking to I was working at the machine shop, and I was talking to the rep for, I'm not going to say the name of the CAM system, and I'm like, ha, nice joke, ha, cool, but really, what's the price? And he was like, no man, that's the quote. I'm like, okay, but I don't want to buy the system again. I just want maintenance for this year. And he was good. Yeah, but you need to buy the 4 years that you missed. I'm like, oh no, man, you just lost.
Womp, 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 womp.
Yeah, exactly.
I just had a conversation with somebody that it's, treat me like a new customer. I'll just, rather than pay all that maintenance that he owes, it's better to just treat me as a new customer and sell me the product,
Yeah, change the purchasing email address.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like no, it's ridiculous, and there are CAD systems that do it, and the trend is if you're not selling your software as a service, as a subscription, and you do have a perpetual license, you then do that, which is what SolidWorks does, and it's this practice has spilled over to CAM systems as well, and it's ridiculous, right? It's quite a bit ridiculous. Man, I don't know.
Definitely.
But yeah, so that's a major plus point for EasyCam, and if it has a great adaptive roughing. It's customer friendly, but I wouldn't call it customer friendly. I mean, it's just logical for me. It's just that everybody else is trying to gaslight you into thinking that it's normal to charge you like that, right? But anyway, it has that as well. Plus the AI assistant. Great proposition in my book.
That's right. And I'm going to have a little bit of a laugh because I came across this question: can you do a chamfer along a 3D line? And I immediately thought, oh, you know what? I've already got this perfect spline that I just sketched out for a last question. So I switched to my screen. I hurried and made something that has a 3D profile. And I said, aha, let's do a chamfer along a 3D path. And then I said, I bet they're asking Chris that question and not me.
I was wondering about that. But yeah, we do have I have an example of that. Let me call that up.
So in Alibre, you absolutely can do a chamfer along a 3D line. I'm so glad to be as helpful as I was.
Hey, by the way, guys, this is a very famous part. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's a very famous part.
This is a 3D area here where it's coming down. Let's deactivate that. I'll put these into motion. Get a preview. Okay. So I'm just working with this half. Now we're going to go into contour. Set up my tool. I do have the ability to bring in a tool library. Right now I have a blank one. I was bringing in some other tools from another vendor, I think Kennametal's one of them. So you can import tools. I have a flat end mill. Let's put in 45 degrees. Now I select my surfaces, 3D section, and verify. Preview.
There you go.
So yeah, we can put that around. Let's go with 3D slot here. I think is what I need. We do a side view. You can see it's coming into a 3D cut right there.
Now, Chris,
This is also great for deburring parts. I just wanted to say, not just chamfers, but also for deburring parts on the machine. Super useful.
That's a good point. What kind of machines do you need for chamfers on 3D paths? Can you do it with something 3-axis, 4-axis, 5-axis?
Hey, I mean, it's something as you know, an Easy Track, an E-mill has a powered Z. If you have a powered Z, you can do it. If you're standing there with a quill, of course, you know 2-axis, you're not gonna be able to do that. But anything with a powered Z and take care of that for you.
What's the best tooling for that?
I mean,
would it be more of a ball end, or
some people use? You can use a ball end. You can use a bull. You can use. Some people use a spot drill. That's very common. You just grab a carbide spot drill, what have you, and run it over it.
Especially for deburring, I did that. Yeah.
You know, here I have a 45-degree chamfer tool that I use, but you can always switch that over to a spot drill. Change this to a 90-degree tip angle.
Wow. Lots of good options.
Yeah.
Oh, the diameter is wrong. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Spot drill. Diameter. There we go.
I like this question. Is it possible to use a 2D drawing as the basis for a simple 2.5 machining operation?
2D? Geometry only?
Like a DXF, they mean, I'm guessing.
Yeah. A lot of the guys with plasma cutters and lasers, that's a real go-to. But you want to work with a solid model in most cases.
By Alibre.
Exactly.
Alibre Atom, guys. It's a. But I don't know. Do you have a Chris? Do you have a? Do you get a discount for Alibre Atom when you buy EasyCam? How does that work? Do you bundle it or?
We're at a different. You guys bundle yours together, and what we do is
that's what we do. That's what we do. So Alibre, when you buy, there's a machining option for Alibre, and you get EasyCam and you get Alibre Atom with it. But seriously, Alibre Atom is like a $200 purchase, and they often do discounts, and that's great. It's like perfect for a machine shop because most of the time, if you have a 3-axis mill or a 4-axis mill, that mill cannot cut geometry that Alibre Atom cannot generate. So it's a perfect match, and you only pay like $200 for it. So no need to pay $10,000 for SolidWorks is what I'm saying. Sorry, guys. I keep dishing SolidWorks, but
I think this is a follow-up to that last one, so tell me if I'm wrong, but can you draw surfaces to aid in the milling and constrain the areas that cutter will cut?
Within the EasyMill Pro, you can create surfaces, so you could extend. We could even cap. Let me let's see.
Nice part.
Cancel.
What is that? Like a printing roller? Yeah.
It's like it's a rolling pin, sort of.
Okay.
Let's see.
Cool.
Patent taco shells.
Yeah.
Don't go there. Don't go there, Steve.
I was going to say, isn't that it's not Taco Tuesday.
Yes. It's always Taco Friday over here, Chris.
There you go. Let's see. So I guess in some cases you want to extend the surface. You might want to have some over travel where the ball end mill's not rolling over the edge, but kind of flowing through it.
Yeah.
We use a curve for that. We would just take and snap from one end to the other. Maybe use edit and translate X negative, I don't know, 1 inch. Copy mode. Select our curve. Then you just go in surfaces and then create a ruled surface. Select your boundaries. So you can do quick things like that in EasyCam where you don't have to necessarily take it over to Alibre and modify the model or even try to come up with some kind of an extension. Even with the holes, a lot of times people want to cap the holes just to smooth out the tool flow. And we could do that with just going in and creating a face curve. Surfaces, standard, from plane arc, circular curve. I'm going to discriminate. When I click, I only want to click on a curve.
There you go.
You can see that we've patched it and it looks like a perfect match. So yeah, you can do things like that. I mean, you can even use the geometry on the surface edges for chamfering. So
we've got a reply. Yep, that's exactly what I'm programming. So Chris, it looks like you hit the nail on the head there.
Hey, you know, once in a while we'll find bread.
There you go.
I think Bill Black noticed our top comment.
Oh man, Steve, you shouldn't have. Come on.
I'm getting hungry already. So
there you go.
So there's a really good question here. Just throw this up on screen. Does the software support creating and using custom cutting tools?
Yes, we do. Don't know how long it's going to take me to do this. I'll try to move through it pretty quick. Let's just say, let's make contour. Bear with me. Let's see. Do I have one open? I do have one open. Okay, so Mill Pro. Now it requires the Mill and the Mill Pro in order to make custom tools. Now what I need to do is I need to open EasyCam's library. Let's go on a C drive. EasyCam W. And we are working in 33. Switch over to all files. Tool holder, let's go with, I think that's inch. So we'll go with tool holder inch. You can see all the different, oh, those are tool holders. I want custom tools. Sorry. Let's move back.
That's impressive. And you can like draw that in a 2D drawing and just bring it in and it reads all of those shapes.
Exactly. Yep. All right. So let's go back.
That is cool.
Inch tool geometry. There we go. Here's one of our thread mills, single point thread mill. Here we have our center drill. So let's go down the end of the pile. Let's go with new curve. Before I do, I'm going to set up my grid spacing. Let's do something like 1/8 of an inch. Make a new curve. Curve 14. Wait a minute. Well, I want to rename that. We'll get back to that. Let's see. So linear, grid. Let's see. We'll just do something like that. And I'm not on 0. I want to move that up. Move from here, there. Okay, so that was curve 14. There's a status bar down at the bottom, so that's the active curve. So I'm going to save my library.
Can you show us the status bar again? I'm just moving us out of the way here.
Oh, sure. Okay, so down at the very bottom, we're on layer 1. So if we're working with different Libre models, for example, you might want to click on layer 1 and change that over to layer 2 and then bring in your Libre file. So now you are stacking them up and you can work with layers. We have a layer manager that allows you to hide, delete, or make copies of them. It's all tucked away up here. I know I'm going into a different subject here, but man, it's just insane. You can hide them, you can show them, delete them, create other layers, add the models to the layers. So yeah, good organization. So now let's go in to this one. I've got to go to my tool library. Library. There.
Now we're coming up on an hour, so I don't think we're going to have any server issues, but if so, it's not our server, it's Wave.video server, so if it happens to freeze, we're coming back, and then we're doing a giveaway, so stick with us.
And it usually happens around the 90-minute mark, but it has happened around the hour, so.
All right, I'm going to create a new tool. That was CRV 14, I think. God, I wish I renamed it. I would have been able to. Let me just pop that back open. Yeah, CRV 14. Okay. That's the key to it. You draw a curve representing your tool shape. You got to make sure you name it accordingly. So let's go with a flat end
human
mill.
readable.
That's where it's getting the custom form. Angle 0. Close, save. Go in here. Background. Select. Whoop.
There you go.
I hope it's not case sensitive. Let's see, simulation. Slow the simulation down. Turn off holders.
The tool holder is huge. Yeah, the tool holder is huge, but the tool seems to work. Yeah.
I'm in this is metric. I was wondering if that. Well, that's not the case. Escape. Let's see overall corner radius. Tool. All right, switch over to you. I'll get this. Once in a while, you end up running into something. I'm rushing around. There's something silly I'm doing here.
Absolutely. So I think I don't think we'll have any server issues. The new how hard could it be, or what could possibly go wrong, right?
Well, the fact that we're signposting it says that it happens regularly enough for us to say it, right? So, but I will say that 100% of the time we have recovered. So just bear with us. We will be back. So there's a question here. Well, while we're just looking at those custom tools, can I just pull up another question, Joseph?
Please.
So this one here is, what's the compelling reason to switch and then retrain? So this This is in the context of somebody using, let's say, Fusion 360 for their workflow. Why would they switch to Alibre and EasyCAM? What's the compelling reason?
I can tell you from my perspective, because very early on, I had a fascination with 3D platforms, and I used as many as I could. And so I'm just going to say, if price were no issue, right? I've used FreeCAD and Dune 3D and a lot of these open source ones that are young and developing and don't have the kind of features that that other ones do. And from using something like Dune 3D or FreeCAD, I learned how to make the same geometry with features that probably weren't even meant to make that kind of geometry in the first place. And so using a wide variety of platforms has gotten me to make really creative approaches to making things. And so the next time that I'm using a platform of any kind and say, there's not a feature that can do that. Well, previous experiences from using multiple platforms has got me to be able to not get stuck and have a wide variety of approaches for making geometry. That has been a really good teacher throughout my career. But with price being an issue, it's nice to own the tools that you use and own the platform that you have, so you're not stuck with versions that take away certain features or capabilities, differing costs for subscription fees as you go. And if you don't pay the subscription, you lose native access to your files in that way. That's just a quick rundown from where I'm coming from. What about you guys?
Go on, Costas. You go next.
Yeah. Okay, so so first of all, let me talk from experience. I own an engineering consultancy. That's how I got in touch with Alibre. I was using Fusion 360. I had a really big job. I mean, for my standards and you know, size of contract that I got, it was one of the larger ones. We had a designer that designed the device for us, and they sent me a surface, and I imported it in Fusion. It was an injection molded part, right? I wanted to do the webbing as you do these parts, right? And Fusion would not understand the surface. It would extend the reinforcement past the surface after I've thickened it, right? So I had thickened the surface. It had a 3D shape that Fusion had made by itself, and it still couldn't terminate to that 3D geometry. And so I would, you know, do the webbing and then try and cut it out, and then it would error out, and then go back and forth and whatnot. And at that time, I had an Libre trial going. It was like a 30-day trial, and it was 20 days in, and I hadn't even fired Alibre up. And I'm like, okay, let's see. And I fire up Alibre. I just designed the webbing, right? Like lines, thin extrude up to next, done. I'm like, okay. So, you know, the thing with a CAD system is it's nice to have features, but for me, as a professional, like of a very small engineering consultancy trying to go up against huge companies and get contracts from them, it's more important for me for the tools that I have to work. No point in having a button up there in the toolbar, say does it, and you know, half the time it fails. So that's one. Second is Alibre has 3 tiers, which is like $200, $1,000, and $2,000, and they're perpetual licenses. You pay once, and that's it. So if you have a cash flow issue at some point, you're not left stranded without a CAD system, which is important. Local file access, right? In fact, here's a little sneak preview. I have a video coming up. I made a new video for the channel, guys. It's not up yet. It's being edited. But I made a new video, and it's like a very basic Fusion 360 via Libre type of thing. And Fusion has this Fusion for Design tier, which is $2,200 a year. And I basically make the case that in a 5-year timeline, you can get 12 seats of Alibre for your entire design team for 1 seat of Fusion. So there's that. As for CAM now, why should you retrain for CAM? So Chris just discussed 3D adaptive roughing. 3D adaptive roughing, okay? And we also said that EasyCam has 4-axis simultaneous. Okay, now go and check how much Fusion charges for those two tools, because they recently got put behind the paywall for the advanced manufacturing or whatever they're calling it. And that is your basic Fusion subscription plus $2,000 a year. So basically, for roughly the cost of purchase for EasyCam, right, is roughly what you would need to pay per year in Fusion, and you paid once in EasyCam. Thereabouts, but still. So yeah, Fusion's nice. It's got some bells and whistles. They work most of the time if you're into that thing, right? But come on, subscription as a service, it's been abused as a licensing model, and it's just there to milk the little guy, and I kind of hate that. And it doesn't even make sense anymore. I was with Fusion since 2017. It did make sense back then. Back then, it was like $50, $60 a month, and everything they developed, it was available to everybody. Well, Fusion was in beta basically back then, but whatever they made, they allowed you to use it. And then the CEO changed in Autodesk, and a Greek guy came in, and he ruined everything. And I'm Greek, so I can say that.
Right turn, Clyde.
Something like that.
If I could jump in just a second, you had mentioned 3D roughing, 3D with high-speed machining.
Yeah.
We do the roughing, but it's all stair step. It's all 2D. So not to confuse people that there's a 3D toolpath.
But it's roughing. But still.
But it's roughing.
But when you're roughing, you're doing steps. Nobody roughs in 3D, right? Well, and you also have 3D finishing as well, don't you?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
And Fusion does that as well. When you're 3D roughing, what it does is steps. It asks for a step down, and it roughs with adaptive milling in steps.
Only if you check the box. Otherwise, it just plunges to the depth, regardless of what your cut is.
Oh man, don't get me started with that. It's so annoying. Oh man, Steve is giving me PTSD here, but he knows the pain.
See, I give with the tacos, I take with the PTSD. So
there you go.
Chris, what's your take on that question?
I was thinking more going backwards to where I left off with the custom tool. So I spaced out for a minute because I was trying to pick up back where I left off.
Custom tools.
Excuse
me. So 1 minute. Custom tools. Go and pay for that in Fusion 360. Man, come on.
Yeah, I just saved the file in a different format. I should have saved it as a geo file. So just saved it to the correct format. And now if you want to switch over to my screen, Joseph. There we go. So now let's.
There you go. That's it.
There's our custom tool.
And you get the matching simulation for it, which is kind of awesome, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of people that use form tools out there. Maybe more so in the woodworking, if I'm not mistaken. You guys back me up on that?
Woodworking, they do it a lot. They even create some huge tools for wood turning. That's the entire shape in a single tool, and they just plunge it in. And but also, when you have like, when I had a job in a CNC machine shop where we used form tools for aluminium, and it was this specific profile of it was a part, and it had two ball bearings, and it was basically a sliding door would ride on these things, and you had to do a very specific profile and then put the ball bearings in, and it was just a form to a single pass. So yeah, whenever you have a profile that is repeating along a path and you have a large production quantity, you do a form tool. No reason in playing with
It's funny. I just want to. I just for fun. I just want to see what a Z helical will do with this type of tool. We've added the Z helical so it spirals down like a corkscrew. We've added that to the Mill Express. Let's just take a look at that toolpath.
Yeah, that's cool.
So let's make it a little steeper.
Oh, okay. So I want to comment on that because I saw it when I was using EasyCam, and I really love that, and I want to add something to that after you're done, Chris.
Oh yeah. Let's just see what that looks like.
Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome?
Huh.
Let's just change that back.
I used to do the math in Excel and create that program and do that sort of thing manually for cutting key slots in very large shafts, like 120 mil. What is that? Like 5-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch shafts that you would put large gears on, and you have a very large key seat. And I used to do that. I used to do that by doing the math and doing that, ramping down. Right? I would get an end mill that's slightly wider than half the key slot width, and would do that, and it would do the key seat a lot faster than just plunging it in and trying to hog out the material. But what I wanted to say is, when you're doing that helical, when you do a helical entry for an adaptive, so you have an enclosed pocket like we were discussing earlier, and you do need to do a helical entry for the adaptive roughing. EasyCam allows you to choose the taper angle of that helix as you go in, right? Which is a lot more important than people think, right? Do I remember that correctly, Chris?
So I'm gonna put that into play here for you, and
yeah.
So the key to high-speed machining, what you really want to do is you want to go as deep as you can possibly go, and then step over. Yeah, maybe I would step over at a 20%. So now to do that, you can see here we're plunging straight down and getting to the bottom. So what we do is we add some plunge options. And if your plunge options don't, let's say you're using helix and it's too large, let's say it's starting in a corner. What EasyCam will do now is adjust and give you a zigzag down to depth. So you get some kind of a plunge into the material rather than going straight down. EasyCam adjusts for that automatically. So before it used to be plunge parameters aren't possible and you're done. It's like you got to make the adjustments. You have to use a curve. You have to redefine where your end mill is going to start. So EasyCam automatically gives you that zigzag where you just can't fit a helix in there any longer. So we'll do a helix, and let's say we go down every helical radius of 1/4 of an inch. And the pitch, let's go every revolution of 100 goes 1/4 inch deep. There we are.
There you go. That's cool, man, isn't it? That is so cool. That is so cool. You get to helix into your pocket with parameters that you select, and then you continue on with your adaptive.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
I'm seeing
noise, Joseph. Your mic is pretty hot.
Oh, is it? Let's see. What kind of noise is it? White noise?
Something like that. Yep. booming noise. Basically, it was like
it's the mic. It's noise floor.
Is that any better?
Yes, it is better. It's not gone completely, but it is better.
Oh, darn it. Yeah, I think my computer is really doing one here. I'm seeing some other questions, and just wanted to respond to Glenn Philipman because he asked a long time ago. He's working on building large robotic automatic machinery, uses Keyshot to make it look real, and adding motion would be a game changer. I saw that Harold did respond with the most straightforward thing. If you buy a Keyshot with Libre, it's still, you can get animation, but you got to get the pro license directly from Keyshot. I'm going to switch to my screen here and pull up. I don't know if this is along the lines of what you might be looking for or not, but I did make my own animation inside of Alibre. Of course, you can just crop out the UI here and have somewhat of a real looking animation, dynamic springs and all that. I've got a video on how to do this, but essentially you can either make an assembly, turn it one frame at a time and take a screenshot, which is actually what I did here, or you can write a Python script, and I think there's probably a Python script that I can make available that would automate an animation like this as well. So there are some things you can do inside of Alibre, and then there's free software as well. Blender is known for its animation and things like that. So there are options, but I think Harold really nailed it with the most straightforward answer. And a shout out to our forum legend Harold, who we love having join us all the time as well.
Yep.
I
and
think, yeah, go ahead.
Can I just say, Glenn Lipman, man after my own heart. I also do mechatronic design. Basically, that's my niche as well. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Maybe you have a robotic simulation program like I've been using for years, Coppelia Robotics one, and what I've been doing is it's not photorealistic, but what I've been doing there in the simulation, you can get a lot of data out of your entire system out of it, and you can add the Alibre model as an STL. Then the rest of your robot or machine can be just a free body diagram, blocks interacting. But you can see in your simulation screen the STL from Alibre, and you can get amazing telemetry of these software. So if photorealistic is not like a very hard spec, that's another way to do it.
Awesome.
The first thing that comes to mind for me for animating these things is to export the objects out of Alibre into possibly an OBJ format and bring them into something like Blender, an open source animation application dedicated for the job. And Blender is pretty heavyweight in terms of what it can do.
Yeah, Blender can do pretty much anything.
Yeah.
It's hard to learn to use, though. I mean, we have to address that.
Yes. I mean, I used Maya back in the day, right? And I went to Blender and it just broke my brain for the first, 4 weeks.
Yeah, it does do that to you. It does do that to you. However, Blender is pretty up there right now, right? And there's nothing missing out of it. You can make entire, and people have actually made entire animated movies from Blender. It even has a movie. It even has a video editor built in.
Yep.
Do a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Not a lot of people know that Blender was used for previs for one of the Spider-Man movies.
That's cool. I didn't know that as well.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
I think it was Spider-Man 2. They did the previs using Blender.
Interesting.
Oh, it's so powerful, man. It's so powerful.
Yeah. Fluid simulation, loads of things in there.
Yep. All right, so I'm seeing a few other interesting comments. I think there's one for Chris. Actually one for you, Steve. Chips and queso first, particularly for our British friends, since there's such a difference between temperature profiles of Mexican and British foods.
So, I mean, Brits, we do like our spice, right? You've
Oh,
heard
yeah.
of the East India Company, right?
Oh, yes, there you go. There you go.
I was going to bring that up too.
So yeah,
British cuisine, curry on everything.
yeah. I mean, I think we invented fusion cuisine, right? Because
There you go.
other than a roast dinner, I don't think there's much that's that we can say is
Yeah.
our own.
Well, this company invented a lot more, like stock trading and a few other unsavory practices. But it did that too as well, Steve. You are correct.
But we can take our spice in the UK.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No one ever says, "Gee, this meat pie is spicy." Is that true, Steve? Are they pretty bland, or do you get spicy one?
Well, it depends on who made it, right?
I do have family in London basically, and I try and visit when I can, and I can tell you, you can get any type of food you want, perfectly made, like Greek cuisine, Persian, great, Indian. You can get anything. Let's be honest, right?
You've seen Sweeney Todd, right?
Yep. Of course I have. It's got cars in it, Steve. Of course I've seen it.
Just watch what's in your meat pie.
I'm gonna have to start including ghost peppers with every sale.
There you go.
Oh, that's a gauntlet being thrown down right there.
That sounded like a challenge there, Chris.
I do like it hot.
There you go. There you go.
Yep. Just back to that animation question. Blender is very expandable. You have add-ons, and it's becoming widely adopted. And you can get shader packs.
By the way, it's got an add-on, and it makes it's got an add-on that I don't remember the name. I've downloaded it. I'm using it. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it makes it work quite a bit like Keyshaw, with material libraries that you drag and drop on the surface. That makes it a lot more usable. Just putting it out there.
Source. Yeah. You can program Python scripts for it. I mean, it's amazing.
Yep. Now we're jumping around between animation and food, but I'm going to get one back to you, Chris. So we'll bring you on, and we're going to say, gosh, I just had it. It's so hard to go through these comments sometimes, but the one with the holes.
Okay, I can go back to that.
Swiss cheese. That was Swiss cheese, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm going to find it, and I'll stick it up here.
First thing I thought when I saw the model was like, okay, we're milling cheese now.
So on a surface with holes like the one shown previously, is there any way to avoid holes during machining? As in other CAM software, Bobcat has this feature.
Oh, excellent. All right, awesome. Glad you asked. All right, so let me just set this up here. We'll put our coordinate system in the center with some stock. If I go in and add, let's go with finish. Actually, let's go with roughing and pocketing, flat end mill. Let's make it 6, see if it'll drop in the holes. I don't know the diameter right off the top of my head. Ignore region size. So maybe I should get a dimension on that. But let's say we ignore regions up to 1 inch. And verify. Down in the lower left, we're showing our calculations going through. There it is. See, we're skipping over all the holes in that size. So let's change that. Should start falling into the, see, you can see in here it's dropping down. But yeah, you can ignore regions. So like if you had a slot, you didn't want the tool dropping into a slot. So what you'll do is you'll define the length of the slot, if it's longer than the the width or what have you. So you want to give it the largest dimension to skip the feature.
Perfect.
Can I just yeah, I saw that as well. But yeah, Fusion licensing. Fusion licensing. It was really horrible when they started changing the model, and they seemingly randomly started putting tools behind a second paywall. I mean, okay, you know what, mate? Just make the subscription more expensive and be done with it. Why do you need to do that? It was like a bad move. And can I also highlight another comment? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Highlight that one more time.
Yeah. Oh, wrong one. Oh, come on. Oh, I lost it. So Glenn Lipman wanted to know what my email address is. I don't have a way to type. Yeah, there you go. I don't have a way to type a response in the stream that you're watching right now. But if you go to www.xmachinaengineering.eu, that's my website, and you can get contact info there. EX, right? Yeah. Let me. It's not, but I can show you guys.
Even better.
Because can you put that in private chat and copy paste it from there?
Yep.
Yep, I can. That'll probably work better. So. EU. There you go.
Yes, I was close, but I was typing too fast.
No, you forgot the dot basically. So,
yes.
So yeah, guys, if you need anything, I'll be happy to talk with you.
There we go.
There you go. That's me.
I think you can paste that into chat as well, can't you, Joseph?
I think I can here. Let's do it.
And that'll mean people can copy paste it from the chat as opposed to mistyping it from
what's
on screen.
That's a website that you'll come to.
Beautiful web design causes.
I agree.
Well, I did try a bit, but you know, it was done with Squarespace, and I did try a bit, but that's about it. Yeah. So yeah, you can find me there. Let me know if you need anything. I'll be happy to talk with you and help any way I can.
And Chris, I'd love to get your thoughts. My neighbor uses Fusion. We trade parts via step file, which is usually adequate, and still misses the native support for his 5-axis CNC they took away years ago. I don't know much about Fusion CAM, but I'm guessing they no longer support 5-axis, or it's a paid thing or something.
So certainly on the maker license back in the day, I think you could earn something like $50,000, or is it $100,000?
Yeah, that was it. The startup license it was called back
then. That's the one, and it was literally fully featured. And then 2019, they kind of tore up the licensing rulebook, made it the personal license, nerfed it to 10 active projects. They took away all but 3-axis CNC. There's lots of features then that get behind the first paywall of subscription.
Not all 3-axis, Steve. 3D finishing is still behind a paywall.
Well, yeah. That's what you were referring to. That second paywall that they've got going on, right? So yeah, 3-axis machining is the limit in the personal license. Anything more than that, 4-axis, 5-axis is a subscription straight off the bat.
Yep.
So yeah, you think that they upset. In fact, that provoked me to make a FreeCAD video back, just comparing Fusion 360 and FreeCAD, and that you'd think they would learn from the mistake that they made they destroyed the relationship between the maker community in the way that they handled that license transition.
Exactly, and it was deliberate. It was deliberate. Carl Bass was a maker himself. He was a great guy, nice guy. Fusion was basically his brainchild, from what I understand. I might be wrong. I'm not too well versed in the Autodesk universe. But then when I forget that guy's name, the Greek guy that's in charge now, he gave a keynote, a keynote address in Autodesk's show, like after COVID, I think. And the vision he expressed for Fusion, right, was not any longer like inventor's baby brother for the small medium businesses and the makers and what. It was like replace inventor, right? You can clearly see that in that keynote, that Fusion is now targeted at not you and me, Steve, but like Toyota, General Motors, and SpaceX. And that's a completely valid business choice. It is his choice to make, but we don't need to continue being on board with Fusion, right? If you want to price us out, fine, because there are alternatives. EasyCam is a great example. Alibre is a great example.
Right.
So if you want to price us out, bye. That's about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Okay. Anyone else see any good questions here? I was busy replying to an important email.
There you go. By the way, we're coming up on that 90-minute mark. 90-minute mark. If we freeze, let us know.
Stay with us, and we'll be doing an email still doing a giveaway when we come back. Can you do a single point taper thread mill?
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Console.
All right, looks like we're back.
Recovered.
We're back.
Almost there in my console.
If you can hear us, guys, let us know.
Back.
There we go.
Okay. Let's
Sorry
take
for
that
that
one from the beginning.
guys. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, so we'll go into a thread mill. This is 36 in diameter. That's the major diameter. This is going to be an outside thread. Put a pitch. Let's go with 22.5 for the pitch. The depth, let's go with, say, 50. Feed, you have a machine direction. You can feed from the bottom up, or you can feed from the top down. Root diameter, we'll say 33 millimeters. Let's see what that gives us. No machining path specified, so you go in here, you select your cut surface. It's highlighted. There's our thread. Let's see what that looks like in real life here. Let's verify all. Need my library. I have to go to... And sometimes if you don't install the software as administrator, you're going to run into an issue where it won't find the library. So you might want to reinstall the software as administrator, give the user administrative rights. You can take the rights away from the user after you've installed the software. Let's go ahead. 12. Thread mill. Pitch. 5. 33. Depth. Preview. Wants to use my custom form tool. Ooze. I didn't have the holder set up for it, but that's what you saw, that blue holder floating away. How did I end up there again? But yeah, that's thread milling right there.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I didn't set the holder up with the tool. Yeah, it's not a big deal.
And actually seeing the threads in simulation is always cool. Let me tell you.
That is really cool.
Yep.
Yep. I'm not sure if this is a follow-up. Can CAM handle ATC? I know that is air traffic control. So can you control aircraft?
Yes, of course. It is, of course,
air changers. What do we want to control? The shortest distance, or
maybe automatic tool changer makes sense. Can you change tools in this? I'm sure you can.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
And even Chris just showed us. Yeah, just showed us the post that you can actually input have a post processor with specific commands that your machine needs for operating the tool changer. But yeah, go on, Chris.
Okay, so without a tool changer, typically what happens is the machine comes to a stop when it sees the difference in tool numbers. With an automatic tool changer, it just sees the tool number and it does the tool change for you. One step even further, if your machine supports it, you can have a next tool. So not only does it go ahead, raise up, index, gives you the tool, it'll sit there for the next. EasyCam will give it the prompt to do the next tool change without the M6. The M6 does the tool change. So if I'm on tool 1, it'll take the tool. Then before it goes down, there's a next tool call, just T2. It'll automatically index the tool into the carousel, ready for it for when the tool has to return. So yeah, no, fully supported. Yep. Just changing tool number is all it takes. The next tool has to be added into the post. So if you're listening and you don't have the next tool set up, you can ask AI. AI takes care of that.
Yeah. There you go. And then JSZ, sorry, I'm just gonna call you JSZ, asks if it's in metric or in inches. From what I saw, both. Is that correct, Chris?
Yeah, I've been working in both units. Yeah. To find out which unit you're looking at, you go to the View menu and then Setup. And Setup will tell you whether it's inch or metric. Okay. And if you wanted to switch, so this is in metric, we'll go and switch it to inch. Then we'll come over here to help, go to the toolbox, convert metric geometry to inch. So I just hit that. Now my model, if I was to measure a hole, 0.3346. So now it's in inches. That's simple as that. Matter of fact, if you asked AI that same exact question, how do I switch from inch to metric, metric to inch? It'll give you the whole explanation. It'll all be there for you.
That's so cool.
Just on the AI piece, as a new user, if I came into the application and brought my model in, and there's a particular operation I want to do, can the AI educate me on how to do that properly?
You know, I've been dying and chomping at the bit to show you this, guys. I'm going to bring in.
I'm glad I asked. That's why the newbie is on the panel, right? To ask the silly questions.
Yeah,
The newbie.
Right.
Steve is not a newbie, guys, but yeah, let's go.
Let me just shut this down. It takes 3 minutes to do it, but it's worth showing you, and we'll just find some content, some tacos to talk about while we're waiting for it to process. But let's go in here. New file. Express.
Eat a Friday.
Oh no, cancel. AI.
Oh,
okay.
Man.
So yeah, you know nothing about programming in EasyCam, and you want EasyCam to make this model for you. Give you all the toolpath. You can adjust the toolpath once it's made. Just go into the assistant. Takes a second to load. Not 3 minutes though.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so let's just say machine this part.
Oh, that's cool.
So not only it'll actually create a tutorial for you and walk you through step by step if you want to learn that way. But we have just taken it one step further and give you the tool paths right inside of EasyCam.
No, I love that because there's
It's awesome, isn't it?
AI is a very polarizing topic, and I mean this actually gives you the best of both worlds, right? In the sense that if you came in and you don't really care too much to learn about things, you can ask it to. From what I'm hearing, it sounds like you can ask it and it will program the toolpaths for you. Or if you want to increase your knowledge, increase your skill, you can ask it to give you a tutorial and you learn which toolpaths you're choosing and why you might choose them and what order, why you might order things in a particular way. That sounds really cool. I like that.
Here we go.
There's one feature inventory.
So we'll let this cook for a minute and we'll come back to it.
This is interesting, actually. This is pretty cool.
Well, if you want, we can watch it, but yeah.
So Costas, you were saying before, I think it was before the stream, that you'd been using EasyCam, and there's some new things that you'd like to learn. It looks like if you use the AI agent, it's going to educate.
I did use the AI a little bit. I fully own the fact that I am a bit swamped with work for about 10 more days, because I need to be delivering projects in 10 days from now. But then, I really need to get into EasyCam a bit more, because there's, man, it's so powerful. I just love the fact that it has features that Fusion is charging more per yearly subscription than the entire perpetual license of EasyCam. I just love that. It's like, I just love it when you can, slap it in the face of a huge corporation like that. God, it's just me. Sorry, guys. I'm being annoying, I know, but sorry.
Well, while that's churning through it, there's a question here for Chris around EasyCam system for a post-processor 3x mill. So this is a user from Brazil. Compatible with various CNC controllers. I'm not even going to pronounce those because I will butcher most of those.
Fanuc, Fagor, Heidenhain, and Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
I would get the last one, but
no, we have post processors. All of those are popular machines. They're already in our inventory. You just contact us, or I mean, you even have the power of uploading an empty post processor and say, okay, create one for Fagor, for Heidenhain, what have you. I mean, we do have those machine controls in the library. So yeah, you're supported.
Yep.
So contact us.
Awesome.
And Heidenhain is an important one because it's not ISO compatible G code. It's got an entire language by itself. So Heidenhain controls are amazing in their capabilities and their precision because Heidenhain usually does glass scales as standard. Yeah, there you go. TNC 530. There you go. Yeah.
And what was the other one mentioned?
So yeah, Mitsubishi. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, Heidenhain is an amazing control, huge capabilities, but by not being standard ISO G code, you're heavily reliant on the post processor to get the full capabilities of it. And I see that button there, create work steps in EasyCAM, which is
yeah, and that was processed a while back. So I mean, time wise, I mean we're killing it. So anyway, so we just hit the create work steps. Just building them.
Wow.
That might take a little while too. So I don't know.
Costas, do you want to get to that global parameters question?
Oh yeah, well that is working. If you can switch to my screen, let me find the comment first. It was cow tools. Yeah, there you go. So the question is, when I create a new additional config, nothing changes on the screen, right? So we have this part. This is basically a pipe flange, right? Very standard pipe flange. Let's say that we create some global parameters for it for whatever reason, right? We want to drive that. Let's say that we want to drive this pipe flange along with the pipe that it is mated to through the.
I might have lost audio on you.
No, I think we might have an audio interruption that Costas is managing.
Oh, there you go. Am I back?
Yep.
Okay, so. Oh, come on. Sorry, guys. I think I just mixed things up a bit. So there we are. Let's say now that I want to add like a pipe OD, right? Let's say that this is 168.3. Is that the OD? It is, isn't it? I think that's the OD. So that's the 6-inch NPS pipe. And let's say that we want to call wall thickness. What is that? Like something like this. Okay. So now when I save this, right, and I say up, yeah, I need to save it somewhere. Where am I going to save it now? Let's save it here. Okay. So when I save this now and I update the design, right, when I go back into my equation editor inside the part, you will see that I have my pipe OD just came in. Oh, wait, it's not that, isn't it? Global parameters. Oh man, live issues. I didn't link the global parameter file. So now I need to browse for the existing file. And there it is. And now I should have the global parameters in, right? I have a name conflict. It doesn't matter. This is just an example. So when you go over there and you open that file, you can see that we've got configurations here. So configurations are available in the global parameters files as well. And when you make a new configuration, now config 2 is active and config 1 is inactive, and I can switch between them. The whole deal is that, let's say that I want a smaller schedule pipe, right? So there you go. I switch between the configs. Let's save this. Let's update. So we're in here now. Let's see our global parameters only. We're still at the original value, but if I go in my global parameters here, now I have a drop down here. So now I can control which configuration of global parameters is going to get pulled in. And now I've got my different value there, right? So that's how the configurations in global parameters work. And if you're interested, you also have part configurations, which give you a lot more flexibility. And the idea here is you click on the thing that you want to be variable between configurations. So if I click on feature suppression, now I can have some features suppressed in one configurations and active in the other one. If I click on parameter values, now I can have different parameter values for all of the features. Color properties, whether to hide reference geometry or not, and all that. So that is a very, very quick overview of configurations. But remember that in global parameters configurations, you need to select it through here. And you can have files linked to the same global parameter file can have different configurations selected, even though they are linked to the same global parameters file. So that's a bit more variability and options there. But you need to select it through here before you can see the values in your next configuration. If it's only about one part, or even a couple of parts, consider top-down design, where you reference one design to drive the other one, and make full use of. I would suggest make full use of part configurations before you dive into the global parameters configurations. That's my way of thinking about it, and I hope it helped. If I didn't answer it, please let me know, and I'll do one more.
Love that demonstration, Costas. For doing that on the fly, man. That was like a rehearsed video. Yeah. Very nice work.
A live curse hit me, but there you go.
I'm going to switch to mine here. I'm seeing a really good question. I've Alibre Design Professional. Last week I asked about how to save a 2D drawing as a DXF. In my export options, I do not have the option to export to DXF. The export options that I have are STEP, STL, IGES, SAT, Parasola, JT, ZPR, and OBJ. So I pulled up a 3D model here that perhaps I'd like to make a DXF out of. Move you over here, Steve. When I go to export this, indeed,
move over, Steve.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. Sorry for that.
We love you, Steve. Indeed,
we do.
We're only seeing 3D formats, and that's because I'm in the 3D modeling interface. So what I can do is make a drawing of this design, and this is where we can really go into the 2D environment here. So as I send this over to the 2D environment, and I'll move my window over. From the 2D drawing environment, now we're looking at what would represent much more something like DXF. We can say File, Export, and that is where our DWG and DXF and PDF options are for export. So let me know if that answers your question. Simply send to a 2D drawing first, and you should be able to see that showing up.
And can I also yeah, go ahead,
Costas.
No, I just want to add to that thank you. I just want to add to that sometimes the nomenclature gets a bit conflated and confused, especially if you're just coming into parametric CAD. If you want to save a 2D sketch that you made in the 3D environment into DXF, you need an intermediate step. You save it as an SVG. And then I highly suggest you download Inkscape, which is open source, free, hugely powerful. And that software can open an SVG and immediately resave it as a DXF. So that's the workflow. If you want to have a 2D sketch from your 3D environment, go directly into a DXF without making a drawing of the entire part. So, yeah.
Thanks. Love New Zealand. 6:30 a.m. on Saturday.
That's dedication,
Lord of the Rings,
right?
man.
those time differences, it's so hard to schedule with someone from Australia where I'm at. So, Blake, thank you for tuning in.
Yep. Can I just say, New Zealand, place where Lord of the Rings got filmed, beautiful vistas, plus one of the best WRC rounds ever. And I'm Greek, so we have the Acropolis rally, and I'm still saying it. So, love New Zealand.
we love our New Zealand friends, and then I bought a Libre because it did pretty much what SolidWorks did. That was that was a fun one to see.
Exactly. Yep.
This is going to be for EasyCam today. So our giveaways for
nice.
Oh, guys.
So before you get onto this, there's two that I wanted to just pull out before they just scroll off my screen.
Please.
One is, does the software support offline use in a workshop environment? And am I correct, Chris and Joseph? Both EasyCam and Alibre, you can download it off the internet after your purchase, pull the plug on your ISP, and the software will work absolutely fine.
Yeah, we have to generate an offline license for it. So once you have that, it's dedicated to that one computer. And so if you need another license, you need another computer, then you buy another offline license, and they're dedicated to the computer.
Happy days. The other question.
Can I just give a caveat to that about Alibre, which I know Alibre does work offline every 40 days. I think it needs to check back to the mothership, but Alibre also does a fully offline license. You just need to ask for it. It's not the standard one.
Yeah,
so
we can set
the
look for as well. We can look for the license as well. So,
yeah. And this one's quite an important one, right? How do we get an EasyCam cap?
You like my cap? I just got that one the other day, so that came in for the show. Yeah, well,
it's a good one.
Call me up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. I wanted to grab those two.
It's been cooking and it's finished. It's got the work steps up there. We can see what we can create.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. All right. So now back this. I think there were 19, if I'm not mistaken, 19 work steps. Yeah, 19 work steps were created. So let's just simulate and see what it does.
Man, it's
pretty quick. It's pretty quick programming, right?
Whoa, that's even better than the last time I did this. Sorry, that's exciting. I mean, not bad for something that just gave birth. Wow.
So would it be fair to say that with any of the toolpaths that are generated by AI, and I would say any toolpaths that are generated, generally speaking, it's worthwhile simulating them to ensure that something doesn't go a bit weird, and then you drive a really expensive bit through really expensive material in a place where it's not supposed to go. Is that fair to say, Chris?
We have tools to help you with that. So do I trust AI? How do I know I'm not going to have a problem with what I put out at the machine? So what you could go is to the simulation setup, and we have what they call create uncut solids. So if I execute that, anything green has been cut to size. So you are going to cut most of this part to size. The remainder has to be, the red is stock. Yellow would be a gouge. If I messed up, I would have to correct that. And to find out which operation did what, you just double click on it. It pulls up the operation.
I love that one. Yeah.
That is, I like the visual breakdown, because at a glance you can see problems right out of the gates.
And you just double click on the problem and it pulls up the operation that, I mean, come on.
You're absolutely correct.
That's huge.
So I mean, then you just step it through. I mean, you take baby steps. You can just go in and you can deactivate.
Look,
just deactivate.
And still, that was, Oh, cool. That's the facing. Yeah, sure. Yep.
Then you just activate them.
It's cool because that was relatively quick. I mean, if you're programming step by step yourself, you wouldn't, I mean, if you were really proficient, you might do it in about the same time. You wouldn't be that much faster on your own. And to give you something like that in that amount of time, and then you just need to correct a couple of simulations and strategies. I mean, that might be completely worth it as a workflow. Even I'm really impressed by how close it got. Like first time out.
Bill Black is putting the heat on. Buy a seat, get a cap.
Plus a taco in the mail.
Ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper.
Ghost pepper. Ghost pepper. There you go.
I want to get to this one. Do we have a release date for 29?
Oh, yeah.
Glad you asked. So there's no promises because this is a very quality intensive process. We're not going to release something if we find any issues with it. And so no promises, but maybe I won't make anyone upset if I say perhaps Wednesday. We'll see. No promises, but that is a pretty strong target.
Yep. I think there's a thread in the forum that mentions it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Cool, cow tools. Glad I helped on that one.
Joseph, is there a cost to switch from regular Alibre license to offline?
Yes, it's a one-time cost. So it's a one-time $200 upgrade. Contact our sales guys because they can run circles around me with anything licensing. One caveat is I think it's difficult or not designed to be switched around from machine to machine. So know that going in. I don't know the exact details around that, but yep. So regular Alibre licenses, it's either 14 or 30 days that it will just do a quick ping to check if it's active. Otherwise, regular licenses are offline. Offline licenses specifically, I think, go a year. So only need to connect a year for things to work out.
Okay. Cool.
Worked out for Cow Tools. Glad to know. Thank you.
Cool.
This is an important one. Is there any plan for future versions of Alibre? I'll switch to this. Designed to open and edit STL files. Is there a demand for this? And there is a demand for this in reverse engineering, as I need to edit and correct meshes obtained from a 3D scanner. This is a big topic, and I'm glad you asked. So this is really high up on priorities, and I can say that there are now a pretty good proof of concept in Alibre, if that gives any indicator. So this is definitely not a topic being ignored. Stay tuned, because I think there's going to be some future updates on that very topic.
I would love to see something in this space that you could bring an STL in and simplify the geometry so that you don't have all of the triangles, and then you can edit it as if it was like a solid. I know Fusion's got that, and it's behind a paywall and potentially behind a second paywall, from what I'm hearing. So exactly. if it's something that's in Alibre, that's going to be pretty epic.
Absolutely.
So what Fusion does, just to mention, what Fusion does is you can take a triangulated STL, which is the standard STL, and turn it into. Oh man, I forgot the actual name, but it's a quadratic surface, so surface with 4 points and curvature instead of flat triangles, and that is what you then can turn into a solid. The bottom line of it is, just as Steve says, it's like smoothing the triangulated pointy STL out, right? And Max Freeman, the CEO of Alibre, has mentioned it a couple of times that it is a tricky path to go down, because when you have an STL, you've lost information right there. For example, STL cannot do circles; it approximates it with lines, right? So, what if you have a very subtle wavy circle and you don't know that when you get the STL, right? I don't know, like you've got a a spring washer, but it's a very thin one, right? So you tend to lose that information there, and you need to temper your expectations, possibly.
Yeah.
It is a very, very tricky thing to do, but is definitely hitting that call, and they're trying to get that there.
Perfect. I think we covered this one. I assume you can transfer to another PC. The answer is either it's complicated or no with offline licenses. With regular licenses,
Yeah.
I've seen support transfer all kinds of stuff. So just follow up with the sales guy or help at alibre.com, and they can answer it better than me for offline licenses and transferability.
And also, can I just say, if you have, because I am running Alibre on 2 different laptops. If you have an active maintenance, you just go to the license portal in the website and you just release it. Like, it's a few clicks, dead easy, right? Dead easy. So, but that's with an active maintenance. You can also do it if your maintenance is not active, but you need to call support or your reseller, and they can contact support for you.
Perfect. Is Mac support a confirmed goal going forward? It is a confirmed discussion. We are going to have to do a lot of analysis.
Oh, man.
But
I just got a Monty Python flashback there, but go on.
I have that effect on conversations as well.
Yes.
Now, I have seen development make some specific changes and dependencies and things to support Mac infrastructure for the future. A lot of questions about support, debugging, schedules with the Mac copy, but it's being highly discussed, and I think we're going to be doing some analysis on that sooner than later. Of course, right now, hands are kind of tied up with v29 and then v29 dot release with weldments, but Mac is not going to be ignored going forward. So we're going to keep that active. Yeah, that's a cool function. So for anything Mac, STL, anything, please be sure to go to the Alibre home screen, suggest a feature, and be as specific as you can, exactly what you want to see with STL, right? If you say, I want STL support, it's a lot different than I want an STL to be able to measure off of when I model, or I want to be able to modify an STL, right? Specific use cases are really going to be a great lead into how things get implemented. Let's see here. There was an STL to a Libre converter in the Libre forum a month or so ago. The Swiss guys were showing it. Yes, there was. So be sure to.
But that's a direct conversion. So you get the exact triangulated STL, and you make it into a step file, and then you import it. And that's an add-on by who did that? It works amazingly well. Guys, can you help me here? Who made that out? Was it Bolsover? I think Bolsover made it, right?
Bolsover made a good one. It was either... I'll have to look it up. I think it was Bolsover.
Yeah, but it's available in the resources on the forum, and it works great if what you need is your exact STL triangulated tessellated shape into a Libre, right? If that's all you need, that works. That works like today.
Yep.
It's ugly, but it works.
It's ugly, but it works. That's you hit the nail on the head right there. Yep.
Okay, yes, this is a great one. I'm so glad it was asked. This could have been addressed, but for both products, Alibre EasyCam, if I go a few years without maintenance and decide to update, what is the cost? And I know we've heard your story about that. Cost us quite a lot.
Oh yeah, come on! don't make me say it again, right? I'll say it again.
I haven't heard you say it before, Costas.
You haven't heard it?
No.
I was working in a CNC machine shop. I believe, actually, to be fair, I think it was about when we were asking about SolidWorks, right? Not a CAM system, but we did get the same machine shop got the same issue with a CAM system, which I'm not going to name. And I actually, I was on the phone with a reseller, and I told him we need the new version. The guy had gone out without a maintenance for 4 years, I think, right? And and he says, "Yeah, sure, I'll send you an email, but the cost is X," and he gives me a price which was more than actually buying the software, from new. And I'm like, cool, yeah, haha, very very funny. But what's the price? What's the actual quote? And he goes like, "That is the actual quote." Right. And the reason is they are charging every year. If you miss a few years maintenance, they charge, and you want again to have maintenance, they're charging every year that you missed. They're making you pay for it, which is completely, let's say,
That's a
bonkers.
penalty.
Because I'm thinking
that's a penalty.
It's a penalty, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's look, man, it's a yellow card, if not a straight to red, right? But yeah, so Alibre doesn't do that. If you've missed a year of maintenance, there is a small surcharge, but it's even smaller than the actual cost of the maintenance. I don't want to mention. I'll give you an order of magnitude because I don't remember the numbers exactly. But in Greece, I think it's something like 350 euros is the maintenance for expert, and if you miss a year, it's 500. So it's that ballpark. Don't quote me on the exact numbers, but it's that ballpark. So nowhere near what other people are doing. And Chris, I think you just mentioned that you're doing something similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect. I think this is for you. There is Quick Surface software.
Quick Surface. I'm not sure what you mean. I have for STL surfacing. If you mean that, I'm using MeshLab. Check it out. Really powerful tool. Blender is amazing. I have a video up on my channel on how to do UV wrap. How to get a UV wrap out of Blender and then make a 3D file out of it in Libre. Pretty cool. But yeah, look, I'm a strong believer in that you don't need to do everything in one piece of software. It's a nice to have, right? Especially if you're paying it with other people's money. But if you're a small or medium business, you don't need the penalty. Get something that's specialized. It probably works better than a jack of all trades, a master of none, right?
Absolutely. And now I saw a question here. Here it is. I have a Libre Atom license, considering whether to get the Pro or Expert version. Can't decide. Kind regards from Austria. So we actually have some YouTube videos about that somewhat comprehensively cover what you get when you upgrade. So yeah,
that was a very, very well. I got a bit jealous because I can make a video that nice. Come on.
So I'm posting those in the chat. Feel free to watch them.
Yeah, that was a good video. That was
a good overview.
Video, yeah.
Obviously,
so it's all about your use case, right?
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. You can get on the forums and kind of describe the use case, and Expert is worth a cost. Of course it is. Expert has more features than SolidWorks standard is a fifth of the cost. But guys, you can definitely get on the forum and describe your use case. And I'm telling you, I promise you, there will be a lot of people giving very, very honest feedback and trying to help you, because that's how the Alibre forum is. For me, it's like one of the best values in Alibre is the forum. I've said it and I'll keep saying it.
I guess that's one of my biggest bugbears around Fusion, right? You look at the license around Fusion, you've got the CAD, the CAM, you've got the drawing, you've got electronics, you've got so many different workflows within Fusion 360. It's trying to be the all-encompassing thing. And if you're paying a license and you're just using the CAD side of things, how much of your dollar are you wasting?
You're financing out of
so
that.
much. There's so much of that you're not using. So it's about making sure you buy the tool that is good for the job you're currently doing, but equally you need to think about where you're going. Where's your growth? Are you going to go? You're going to need more features in 6-8 months time, right? So you probably want a little bit of wiggle room.
That's perfect advice there, Steve. But let me just make a note here, right? So you're using Fusion just for the CAD, but you think that, well, you might need CAM capabilities down the line. Get EasyCam. You might need some PCB design. Look, Autodesk just bought off Eagle and, tacked it onto Fusion, basically, glued it onto the Fusion piece of software. It did, yeah. So CAD is potentially more feature rich than Eagle, and it's free because it's open source. Finite element analysis, Calculex, Z88, guys, all finite element analysis is basically done the same way because the math behind it is pretty well defined and it's standard. Yeah, Bill Black just mentioned it in
that gets me pretty animated because not only I'm going to be doing a video on beginner to professional PCB manufacture using KiCad, but it's worth pointing out that CERN, the Large Hadron Collider in Europe, they use KiCad, and they've just released a massive package of all of their electronics works that they do.
Seriously?
Free, open source. CERN has just released that to the general public.
Check that out. I need to check that out, man.
KiCad wouldn't be bad if CERN use it, right?
You think? And you don't get that, releasing all of their work if it wasn't open source, right? You wouldn't get that. So
yeah. Sorry, I get animated by this stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I completely understand. I'm like that myself. Don't worry about it.
This is a good one for you, Chris. The Alibre forum is awesome. What kind of user forums does EasyCam have? Any plans in the future?
That's something in discussion. We don't have one available right now. We do use our Facebook pretty heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's one way of connecting with us. But yeah, that's something that's in discussion.
There you go. I think we got a reply here. I'd have to buy the expert version just because of you guys. Awesome. Glad to help make a choice, and welcome to the expert club.
Family, right?
Yep. There you go, man. There you go. You do get a lot with expert. Just go ahead and watch the video that Joseph just linked. You do get a lot of punch with expert, and you also get the PDM system, which is important. Let me tell you, that's seriously important and serious value. And with Weldmans coming, it's a no-brainer.
I want to show Tornado Dave the Weldmans.
Oh, should we jump into Weldments?
I want to show Tornado Dave the Weldments because I mean he builds roll cages and all sorts of bits and pieces.
Oh, there you go, man.
You never know. You never know. He might have to build something for his 737 that he's burying in his back garden. So I mean,
you think?
Well, I think we're all caught up on comments. I think it might be raffle time. What do you guys think?
Oh, yeah. We should do the raffle. Yeah.
All right. I was contacted by someone who does not have a Google account, ostensibly does not want a Google account, but wants to be part of the raffle. So I'm going to jump in with my personal YouTube channel and do a bid on their behalf. So if you see me win this time, it's because it's for someone else. I don't.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, Chris, do you want to choose what hashtag to put in the chat for the raffle?
Throw one out there.
All right, let's see here. I'm going to go with, how about Easy Cam Now, all capitals.
There you go.
So let's bring up a text block here.
good one.
Easy Cam Now.
There you go.
Just like that. Maybe I should add the hashtag in there.
So can we just review quickly what the raffle prize is?
Yes, it's a full copy for a year of all the software we provide.
So Mills Road, all of it?
All of it for, a year.
Man.
That's awesome.
That's a lot, actually.
Someone's going to be real
smiling.
happy.
Yeah. Smiling from year to year.
If you have a machine shop, guys, just make sure to not miss this.
Hashtag in the beginning, because I think the Wave.video system wants
Make sure
that.
you also have hashtag in front of the Easy Come Now, all caps.
Yeah.
Guys, Mill Pro has 5-axis. The Turn Pro also has Mill Turn, right? It supports Mill Turn machines.
Subspindles.
There's a lot in there. Yeah. Subspindles. Yeah, all of it. Oh, man.
Yeah, 5-axis is positioning. We don't do the wrapping yet.
Okay.
It's in the works.
Bill Black says, smiling year to year.
Year to year, yeah. So. Oh, man.
Play a little music, get the vibe going. All right, who's that guy, I wonder? Huh. All right, I think let's do this. I think we're all caught up. Wow, Donnie Reese, congratulations.
Hey, Donnie Reese.
Congratulations, Donnie.
Congrats there, Donnie.
Awesome.
Cool. Congrats there, Donnie. Congrats. Good stuff.
All right, so give me an email. I'm going to change the text block with my email address.
Probably worth dropping that into chat as well for copy paste sake.
Yes.
Yeah. Sure.
So send me an email, and since there was some complications last time, I wasn't getting an email. Hopefully I will this time, but let me put an alternate email just in case. In fact, do help@alibre.com if for some reason the email doesn't go through. Let's go to live chat here. And but this is for EasyCam, right? So I think we need to go to Chris. Chris, do you want to put your email in the chat? Are you able to do that?
I was working on that. Let's see.
I completely forgot about that too. I was just going
on
autopilot. Yep.
Autopilot, yeah. Well,
better than Copilot, I suppose.
Well, if you send it to me, I can forward it to Chris, but probably better to go to the main one.
You wouldn't want Copilot as your autopilot if you were flying in a plane, would you?
Let's see. Text copy, cancel.
It's just chris@easycam.com, right?
Yeah, exactly. Chat.
Easy pilot.
There you go.
For the AI assistant, isn't it? Easy pilot.
The ATC acronym, right? automatic tool changer or air traffic control.
Yeah, right.
Well, there you go.
Chris, I've got one question. I know I didn't get to this because I said it was potentially AOB, but I just thought of it in the context of the EasyCam AI. One of the things that I am incredibly bad at is feeds and speeds, calculating things like chip load and all of that. The way that I go about it as a hobbyist is I run the toolpath and I look at the dust. If it's dust, I know I'm running too quick on the tool or I'm running too fast on the feed, and I'm adjusting until I get a reasonably sized chip that I know that's like throwing the heat away from the cutter. There has to be a better way of doing that. Can I ask the EasyCam AI to explain that to me and educate me?
Okay, so all feeds and speeds, no matter who you are, what machines you're running, you're going to have to tweak them in. Your machines, whether it's rigid, your setups are going to change. So you could have, a setup that's delicate. So you have to use a different speed and feed for that. So everything's going to require tweaks here and there. Well, EasyCam has a couple of ways of addressing it, but we do give you the baseline recommended speeds and feeds, which most people, most setups, most machines, they can support it. That's the same thing with high-speed machining. You got to hit that spot, that sweet spot where the machine is actually singing you a song. It just goes so smooth. So that's what you're after.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
But once you're there, but this is the important thing. Once you're there, if you switch over to my screen for a minute. So let's say this part ran perfect. This is what I want for life. So here I have a 1/2-inch cutter. Let's just change this to 20. Let's make some changes just to show that there are some changes being made. Finish allowance on a pocket. Maybe even a step. Okay, so I've changed those couple of things. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to set that as a template. And I can call this whatever I want. I don't know. Sweet. Pocket. Yeah, okay.
There you go.
I'm going to sit right. Okay. Okay.
Is that like a hot pocket?
Well, a taco.
Or a taco.
Let's see. I just want to see. Okay, so that was cutting the outside of the part. Now I want to use that same strategy, that same tool, and I'm going to go in and pick my sweet pocket, select an area, my step over, my finish allowance, step down. Everything is being used just as it works with that setup, that part. I'm going to throw other parts on there. They might have different features, but I'm not trying to finagle with the speeds and feeds that come from here. These are all your standard. Came out of the machinery handbook. It came from, different carbide resellers. You pick your material. So it's a template. It gives you an idea of what it's going to take for a high speed or a carbide. We all have to start somewhere, but once we get where we want to be, you're going to want to start using templates.
Love it. That's going to be invaluable. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
This is probably a pretty good follow-up. Is there a metric tool library available?
Yes, there is. Let's see. So if I were to switch over, let me see if I got a metric part just to. So.
Yep. Tool diameter 15. That cannot be inches.
No.
15-inch drill.
Yeah, you can do the same thing. We have inch and metric tools, templates.
Yeah. It's a molding machine, isn't it? A mold cutter.
It's or a tunnel boring machine or something. A little tunnel boring machine, like.
There you go.
Yeah.
Then Advanced CAM Solutions would like to know Mr. Christopher's email address. You've probably already seen it, but chris@easycam.com.
There you go.
That's Steve next to Chris's email address, of course. But.
Yeah. If you're wondering who that pretty face is.
Face only a mother could love.
I thought I was the pretty face of the stream, but
No. Well, I thought we were
well,
all
I
pretty.
bet the hat.
Hey, come on, guys.
I've had quite a few compliments lately. I've been told I got a face for radio and a voice for print.
There you go. So your reply to that is, so you're saying I have a chance. You're saying I'm good.
we've got the skills for live stream.
There you go. Okay. So, guys, it's been a pretty cool stream, but I do need to jump off now. I'm pretty close to my hard stop there. And I just wanted to say thank you to all the great people. I mean, it's like the forums, right? We get some really cool people asking really clever and poignant questions in these streams. I just love it. I love the community. Christopher is the second time he's been with us, and it was amazing both times. And I'm blown away by what EasyCam can do for the price. It's really a soulmate to Alibre, isn't it? So yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It was amazing as always. Great to be here, and I hope I can catch you in the next one.
Arrestum Costa.
And it's probably about that time, so I think we're probably going to all sign out here. Thanks so much for joining in. Catch us in the next one. We're going to have some more exciting stuff. And thank you all for tuning in.